What happens when the faction you built from the ground up turns into your worst nightmare? The Judgment Day just crossed a line no one saw coming, and two of WWE's most dominant women found themselves in the fight of their lives. This is a betrayal that's rocking the entire WWE universe to its core. What's up, Suplex Rumble family? Welcome back to the channel where we break down the most explosive moments in professional wrestling. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell because we're bringing you the hardest hitting analysis, the most shocking twists, and everything you need to stay ahead of the curve in the wrestling world. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most brutal attacks we've seen in recent memory. The Judgment Day, a faction known for chaos and domination, just turned their aggression toward two absolute powerhouses, the Eradicator herself, Rhea Ripley, and the genius of the Sky, IYO Sky. Let's break down exactly what happened, why it matters, and what this could mean for the future of WWE. The power players involved. Before we get into the attack itself, let's talk about the players in this dramatic story. First up, we have the Judgment Day, one of the most dominant factions in modern WWE history. This isn't just some thrown-together group. We're talking about a carefully constructed unit that's been terrorizing the WWE landscape, collecting championships, and leaving destruction in their wake. They built their reputation on being unpredictable, ruthless, and absolutely relentless. Then we have Rhea Ripley, and honestly, do we even need an introduction? This is a woman who's redefined what it means to be dominant in WWE. Former women's world champion, a cornerstone of the Judgment Day during her time with them, and someone who's proven time and time again that she fears nobody. Rhea Ripley is the definition of a fighting champion, someone who backs up every word she says with devastating action in that ring. And let's not forget IYO Sky, the high-flying, death-defying superstar who's taken the WWE Women's Division by storm. A former women's champion herself, IYO has the perfect combination of technical brilliance, aerial innovation, and fearless attitude. She's not just competing, she's putting on masterclasses every single time she steps through those ropes. So when you put these forces on a collision course, you know something massive is about to go down. How it all went down. Now let's talk about the attack itself, and wrestling fans, this was vicious. Picture this: the arena is electric, the crowd is on their feet, and tensions are already at a boiling point. The Judgment Day has been making their presence felt all night, that familiar purple lighting, that ominous music, and that aura of intimidation they bring wherever they go. Rhea Ripley and IYO Sky, whether they were scheduled to compete, cutting a promo, or simply making their presence known, found themselves in the Judgment Day's crosshairs. And when this faction decides to strike, they don't do it halfway. The numbers game came into play immediately. That's the thing about faction warfare, it's rarely a fair fight. We're talking about multiple members of the Judgment Day surrounding these two competitors, cutting off every escape route, every option for backup. The attack was methodical. This wasn't some spontaneous brawl, this looked calculated. Rhea Ripley, as tough as they come, was fighting with everything she had. We're talking about someone who's survived wars, whose main event WrestleMania, who's battled the absolute best. But even the Eradicator has her limits when she's surrounded and outnumbered. IYO Sky brought that same fearless energy we've come to expect from her. This woman has launched herself off everything imaginable. She's not someone who backs down from a fight, no matter the odds. But in this situation, courage alone wasn't enough. The assault included devastating signature moves, targeted attacks designed to keep both women down, and that psychological warfare the Judgment Day is famous for. They weren't just trying to win a fight, they were sending a message. A message to Rhea, to IYO, and to everyone else in WWE. The Judgment Day answers to nobody, and they'll eliminate anyone who stands in their path. The crowd was in absolute shock. You could hear the gasps, the chants of support for Rhea and IYO, the boos raining down on the Judgment Day. This is the kind of moment that makes wrestling so compelling, when real emotion and real stakes collide in that squared circle. What this means for everyone involved. Okay, so the attack happened. Rhea and IYO are down. The Judgment Day stands tall. But what does this mean for the landscape of WWE moving forward? For Rhea Ripley, this is personal on a completely different level. If Rhea was involved with the Judgment Day in the past, this represents the ultimate betrayal. The faction she helped elevate, the group she shed blood with, just put a target on her back. And if you know anything about Rhea Ripley's character, you know she doesn't forget, and she definitely doesn't forgive. Rhea's response to this is going to be absolutely must-see television. We're talking about someone whose entire persona is built on being dominant, on being the one who dishes out punishment. Now she's been targeted, and the Eradicator is going to want revenge, and when Rhea wants revenge, people get hurt. For IYO Sky, IYO has proven she can hang with anyone, but being on the Judgment Day's radar is a dangerous place to be. This attack could be the catalyst that pushes IYO to another level. Sometimes adversity creates opportunity, and IYO has the talent and determination to turn this negative into a career-defining storyline. Will she align with others who've been targeted by the Judgment Day? Will she seek her own brand of high-flying retribution? The possibilities are endless, and all of them are exciting. For the Judgment Day, this attack solidifies their position as one of the most dangerous factions in WWE. They're not just talking the talk, they're proving they'll take out anyone, regardless of reputation, regardless of history, regardless of the consequences. But here's the thing about making powerful enemies, it usually comes back to haunt you. The Judgment Day just painted targets on their own backs by going after two of the most resilient competitors in WWE. They better be ready for the war they just started. For the women's division, this attack creates ripple effects throughout the entire women's division. Other competitors are watching. Potential allies are considering their options. Championships and contenderships could be affected. This is the kind of moment that reshapes the entire landscape. What the WWE Universe is saying. Let's talk about how the WWE Universe has responded to this shocking attack, because wrestling fans always have passionate opinions. Social media exploded the moment this went down. Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, everywhere you look, fans are dissecting every second of this attack. Some fans are absolutely outraged, demanding immediate payback for Rhea and IYO. Others are praising the Judgment Day for being the kinds of villains that wrestling needs, the kind that make you genuinely angry, that create real emotional investment. The Rhea Ripley fan base, and let me tell you, it's massive and loyal, is calling for blood. They want to see the Eradicator unleash absolute chaos on everyone involved in this attack. The signs, the chants, the social media campaigns. Rhea supporters are ready for war. IYO Sky's fans, particularly the international wrestling community that's followed her career from Japan to WWE, are equally fired up. They know what IYO is capable of when she's motivated, when she's got something to prove. And the broader WWE universe is already fantasy booking the potential matches, alliances, and storylines that could come from this. Could we see Rhea and IYO form an unlikely alliance? Could other women's division stars get involved? Could this escalate into a full-blown faction war? The speculation is wild, and that's exactly what makes moments like this so special. This is wrestling at its best, when the storytelling creates genuine emotional reactions and gets people invested in what happens next. Looking ahead, so where do we go from here? Let me give you my predictions for what this attack could lead to in the immediate future. I think we're going to see Rhea Ripley come back with a vengeance. Whether it's next week or at the next premium live event, the Eradicator is going to make the Judgment Day regret ever putting their hands on her. We could be looking at some of the most intense matches of the year. IYO Sky isn't going to just disappear either. I predict she uses this as fuel to insert herself into major storylines, possibly even championship pictures. Sometimes the best character development comes from adversity. Midterm storylines, I could absolutely see this evolving into a multi-person rivalry with several moving parts. Maybe we get tag team matches, maybe we get stipulation matches, maybe we even get a wargame-style showdown where allies have to be chosen and loyalties are tested. The women's division has the talent to make this storyline legendary if WWE commits to it fully. Long-term impact, this attack could be a defining moment that we look back on months from now as the catalyst for some of the best storytelling of the year. Championships could change hands because of it. New stars could be made. Hall of Fame careers could add memorable chapters. What I want to see, personally, I want to see both Rhea and IYO get their revenge in spectacular fashion. I want matches that showcase their incredible abilities. I want the Judgment Day to face real consequences for their actions. And I want the WWE Universe to be on the edge of their seats through all of it. And that's the complete breakdown of the Judgment Day's shocking attack on Rhea Ripley and IYO Sky. This is the kind of moment that reminds us why we love professional wrestling: the drama, the intensity, the unpredictability, and the emotional investment. What do you think about this attack? Was it justified from the Judgment Day's perspective? How should Rhea and IYO respond? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one and I love hearing from this incredible community. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash the like button, it really helps the channel grow. Subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you never miss our coverage of the biggest moments in wrestling. Follow us on social media for even more content, behind-the-scenes discussions, and to join our amazing wrestling community.